Welcome back to my shop. Last time, we talked all about splitting and hewing. This time, let's talk all about planing. So today we're going to go in depth on planes. I don't care about the specialty planes right now. That's not what you need to start. You need to care more about your bench planes. You have four main types: a smoother, a jack, a joiner, and a triplane. I currently don't own a triplane, so we are where we are. Then you need to get into the different types of irons. So I have two number 5s here. They are both Stanley, but they have very, very different irons. One is a smoother, which is a straight across iron. And one is a scrub iron that has an 8-inch cambered radius to it. So in woodworking, there are two types of lumber. There's green lumber and there's seasoned lumber. When you use seasoned lumber, you want to use a straight across iron because we're taking a very thin shaving, very finished shaving. In green woodworking, we start with a scrub iron because of the radius will hog off a lot more material. This allows us to work a lot more efficiently than using a regular iron. It needs to be a little deeper. Due to the density of regular material that's been seasoned, and due to the fact that it has lost its tannins and its extractives and its moisture content, the grain does not want to separate with the edge tool, unlike with lumber that still has a high moisture content. So once we've hewed it down, we're going to start planing it. We want to get one flat face with the radial face and one flat edge, usually toward the bark edge. Now that we have a nice flat face that we can square from, we're going to move to the edge. And we want to always start with the bark edge. It's usually easier to plane. When we start into the cut, we want to put all the weight on our front hand. This way we're not rocking back the plane and just taking a big old chip off the front. As we move through the cut, we want to change our weight to just our back hand. If we put all of our weight on our front hand, it'll want to make the plane dive off, which will start rounding out that corner. To keep it flat and true, remember, front hand to start, back hand to finish. Once we've kind of gotten it down and it's mostly true, we want to come back with the joiner. This is where the joiner excels. We're creating a joint or jointing a board. We're looking for a full length, full width shaving. Once we start getting that, we want to check for square. And you're just going to use a tri-square. You're just trying to see if there's any light coming up underneath that. I know I struggle with this part, and I've been doing this for a while. Just takes time, patience. Now that we're getting close, we just want to take small swipes, make small adjustments, check it, plane it, check it, plane it. Couple swipes here. Check it. That's pretty close. I'll take it. And remember, with green woodworking, especially at this stage, you don't have to be as accurate. Reason being is that this stuff is going to dry for about a month, so it's going to change size. So whatever you do now is going to have to be refined later. Once we have one edge square and one face flat, we're going to use a handy dandy chalk line, go to our smallest point, and we're just going to do a chalk line down to the other edge. Right now, we're getting to dimensioning our lumber. For me, I usually eyeball most of my stuff. Once you've gotten your chalk line, we're going to dimension it down to that line. We want to use an axe to save time. A plane taking out a 1/2 inch is going to take forever and be so tiring, it's not worth it. Get comfortable with your axe. Lots of practice on a very regular basis. Remember, the more comfortable you are with an axe and the closer you can get to your line, less planing you got to do. Okay. Once we've dimensioned our board down to its width, we've given ourselves 2 flat edges and a flat face. We have one more face to deal with, and this is going to be our thickness. I usually just eyeball this as well and let the log and the board decide what it wants to be. You're going to go to your smallest dimension with your gauge, whether it's a mortise gauge, cutting gauge, whatever you got. I mean, you could even use a screw and a block of wood. And we're just going to run down our gauge line. Make sure you're watching your gauge lines. You don't want to go too far past them. A little bit's not too bad, but remember, you're going to lose moisture, which means you're going to lose thickness. So you dimension a little bigger than what you intend for your final dimension. Pretty dang close. I like it. Once you've gotten your board down to dimension, you have 4 flat faces. There's one thing you need to check. Because if it has a twist, it'll get worse. So we're going to check for twist on the board using what's known as winding sticks. So I can see that this corner and this corner are high. So I'm going to localize my planing to these 2 spots. And just a little bit. You don't need a whole lot. Then check it again with your winding sticks. I just use square aluminum. Stays pretty true with a little bit of mark on one side, so I can tell. Once I've got my board close to its final dimension and it's ready to be set in the loft, on the end grain I will write the date and what it's for. Because let's all be honest, I'm not going to remember in a month what this board was for. So next time you see me, we'll be joining the box together. It's going to be a little further out just because we have to let the lumber dry. And do me a favor, if you like my content, please give it a thumbs up. If you have a question, a thought, a concern, please leave it in the comments and I can get back to you. If you want to see more of my content and keep learning about the old trades, just subscribe, turn on your notification bell so that way you know whenever I have something new out. I love seeing everybody come out and watch my content and learn about these old school trades. They're dying and we need more people learning about them. It warms my heart to have so much support.